I actually blame the fear of scarcity. Yeah, so many of us are afraid that if you share opportunities with other people, then you are not going to get those opportunities again. Like most of us, we feel like there is not enough things, it's too many of us. So if you share about a brand deal or a campaign, then you are afraid that if you tell Joey is going to take it, then it means that when you are no longer going to get campaigns. So I blame this system. I do not blame people. And also the secrecy about money. Like, how am I going to negotiate if I do not know the foundation, if I do not know the standard? Okay, you might be wondering, what am I talking about? I'm talking about my journey as a content creator. So it's been, I think it's 2 years since I've been on Instagram, but then it's a year since I started getting campaigns, paid campaigns. I've been getting few messages from other moms who are interested in getting paid campaigns, which makes sense because Lena, I love it. We all need money, especially right now. I will always talk about our economy, and I'm hoping that things will change. So I thought I should share my journey so far and what has worked. I'm not talking about YouTube because I'm still learning, but I'm talking about Instagram. So the first time I had a paid campaign, I was paid 10,000, and I think it was for 4 posts. It was a combination of reels and posts, and I needed to do them at home, which was like a no-brainer for me. 10,000 just for taking content. I had to cook, but it wasn't really cooking, it was frying. I was so excited, and like I really appreciated the person that I was working with. I got it through, the lady approached me on Instagram. She sent me a DM. Then after, I had to go and register on the Humans app in order for me to accept that I'm going to be part of the campaign. And also I had to post there. How did I get there? First, it was never my intention. When I started posting on my Instagram, I wanted to promote my personal brand as Joey Dlamini, the author, the social worker. And I wasn't really chasing brands deals. I was there about me. I wanted people to know about what do I do and to get clients and also to sell my books. But the more I continued, someone one day was like, I had a coach, Nola. I do have a coach, Nola. So she was like, no, why do you have to limit yourself? You are not just a business person. You are not just the social worker or the author, but you are also a human being who uses some of these products. So if brands come knocking, why don't you do it? And one of my Instagram friends, Pearl, she was the first one who sent me products to review. It was for free, so I just needed to use the products. Then after, I will share a post on my Instagram and share how do I feel about the product and does it work for me and my family. That's how it started. Then after that, I heard about Brand Advisor. That is, you should definitely register there. It's on Instagram, Brand Advisor and Beauty Bulletin. When you register, they will usually have campaigns, then you can opt in. Then there's a survey that you need to complete about yourself, the products, are you going to use it, will you share the information and all those things. So I registered on Brand Advisor, then I got the first campaign, which was a trade exchange, which means that they give you those products and in exchange for receiving them, you are going to post about using them on Instagram. It worked for me then, but right now I won't do it unless I'm getting a product that I really need and it is very expensive. But if I'm going to get a product that I don't need, then it really does not make sense. But as a start, it is a good idea to start with them, just to see if this is really something that you want to do. And also to understand all the different dynamics. What I loved about Brand Advisor, they are not really picky. So they're not going to tell you the way to write your caption, or we are not going to approve the way you took your picture and all these things. So for them, as long as you meet the deadlines, that is it. But as I continued on this journey, for me, some of the requirements was too much. Like posting one feed post or one reel, it's okay. But posting 4 things, like it felt a lot for me. So that was the first thing. Then after that, that's when I got the fries campaign. And that one, they paid me 10,000. Like, yo, I understand. And I think by then, I didn't have more than 2,000 followers on Instagram, but I had an engaged community. Thank you so much, everyone who's been on this journey with me. So I had people who were engaging on my things, and they were sharing and they were saving, which really helps with my engagement rate. So they paid me 10,000. Can I just be honest? When I submitted my first post and they rejected it. And they rejected, you know, when someone rejects you and when a machine rejects you, it's not the same. When you get that thing that declined. And I was so sensitive. I felt like they were personally rejecting me because I worked hard on that content, especially the caption. They rejected the caption. So I couldn't understand why, how, but I know my captions. I've been creating captions, and also I know my audience, and they also know me and the way I talk about things. So they declined it, and they made suggestions that I need to say it in a specific way, which I felt like it wasn't really the way I talk. Then I had to go and talk to my friend. As I said, I have accountability partners. So I spoke to my friend and I told her how I felt. I was even crying. Yes, me, a mom of 3. I was crying because it felt so personal. And I spoke to her. She was able to calm me down. And I remember I also spoke to another Instagram friend of mine who I can't wait to meet, Ferencia. And she said to me that you must remember, Joey, that they are simply using your feed as an advertising board. So it is not you advertising, it is them advertising. So they also have their own values. They also have their manner of talking. So just think about it as this is not about you, but it's about them, and you are getting paid for it. So let it not be personal. That helped me to make peace with it, that how they say things is not the way I'm going to say them. And just talking about that, you need to understand your values from the beginning, and you need to understand what are you going to say no to, what are you going to say yes to me. For example, for me, I have decided already before it even comes that I'm not going to promote an alcohol brand because I do not believe in it. It is not in line with my values. So it does not make sense that now, as Joey, the way I know myself, next thing I'm saying, even if they are doing good work wherever, but for me, I don't believe in it. So it is one of the things that I'm not going to promote. So you need to know, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to promote? What are you willing not to? And the other thing, just talking about that, most of the people who follow me on Instagram, they know that I'm not a domestic goddess. So they are not expecting me to come and say, guys, all of a sudden now I'm cleaning all the time. So I can promote a cleaning product, but my caption should be in line with who I am. And I think that is sometimes as content creators, we miss that. And that is why people end up not trusting what we are saying, because they feel like we are just selling and saying things for the sake of saying them. Okay, so that was my first product. So I had to learn that it is really not that personal, it is not that deep. And I had to understand that I need to give the brand what they want, whether I agree with it or not. How do I get these campaigns? So far, thank God, it is truly through God's grace. They've been approaching me on Instagram. I haven't sent a pitch to any brand and asked to work with them. They've been approaching me through Instagram, and then that's how it happens. And sometimes I wonder that maybe if I was approaching them, I will get more campaigns. But the truth is that in my current season, I'm not able to. I have so many things. I'm a mom. I'm a wife, I've got a 9 to 5, and yeah, I have too many things. I have friends, I have family, I have church, I have all these things, and sometimes it's not possible for me to stretch myself to make sure that I do all these things. So for now, it works for me. But if when you have the capacity, the emotional capacity, do approach brands. You can get their emails and you send them and you tell them why do you think you are the right fit for them and why do you want to work with them. One of the things that I had to learn very quickly is that you need to have a rate card. A rate card, it simply says that, okay, if for a reel, this is how much I charge. For a story, this is how much I charge. For a feed post, this is how much I charge. And it also gives the brand an idea of the type of person that you are and the kind of content that you want to do. I'm sure you've heard about a niche before. I don't like this concept of a niche, but somehow a niche really helps you to grow. I'm learning that even on YouTube. As much as on YouTube, I did not want to have a niche. I just wanted to be Joey and talk about everything that interests me. But I see that it is important to have a niche on Instagram. My niche on Instagram is parenting, content, and unlearning and motherhood. So that has helped me because when brands approach me, they know that, okay, this is in line with the person that you are. So how do I charge? I have no idea how do I charge. And I think that is my issue. Because we do not talk freely about these things. When you start charging, it's like you must just get a number for yourself, which is so unfair because brands already, they know that we are going to pay so much. So if you do not know, some brands, unfortunately, some PR, they are going to take advantage of you. And it is so sad because I'm one of those people who believe that we should always negotiate in good faith. But I'm realizing that not everyone feels like that. And I remember Millennial Mommy said something to me that you must remember these people, they are in business. And if they are going to make money off you, they are going to do it. It's not personal. So you need to know. I don't want to say you need to know your value because it's not easy to know your value, especially if you've never done this before. And it's not like it's a job that we are used to where you can compare and there are rates out there. So when I did my rate card, it was the one who was like, okay, you can put this, you can put this. But then one time I submitted to this brand, they asked to work with me. I submitted my rate card and they were like, that is too much. We don't usually pay people so much, especially for the number of followers that you have. And I was like, no, I'm willing to negotiate. Like, no, it's fine. But I felt like they did not want to work with me. They just wanted an excuse because if I'm saying I'm willing to negotiate, then why don't you allow me to negotiate? This one is not an easy one, hey? It is really not an easy one because sometimes also when you ask people are afraid to share because maybe they think that once they share, you are going to use them as a reference that, oh, Joey said that you paid her 10,000 for her reel, so why are you not willing to pay me 10,000? But what I've learned, and I hope it can help you, that usually a reel is paid more than a normal feed post, like a picture post or carousels. Yeah, so you can charge more for your reel. Then stories, you don't really charge that much. Sorry, and you charge them separately. I didn't know that because for me it's like every time I post something, I'll share it to my stories so that my audience will know that I have posted. But when you are working with a brand, you can actually charge them for a story. This one I learned from Mommy, that if I need to leave my house in order to do that campaign, I need to also factor in the traveling. Or if I need to do makeup in order to do that campaign, I need to factor in. My advice is that if you are starting out, it is best to also get a social media coach. I know sometimes we feel like you can get all this information on YouTube or on Google, but the reality is that there is value in paying someone who is doing that work because it is they are basically an expert. So for me, I do not mind paying to get those skills. I do not mind paying to get the information and the education. And I know it can be my privilege because I've got a 9-to-5. So I am able to use my salary to invest in my side hustle. And when you see other big influencers or content creators, one thing I've noticed from them, they do invest in their craft. They invest their time, they invest their money, they invest their resources. And you need to understand, are you willing to make those sacrifices? And that is the question I keep on asking myself. Certain sacrifices I'm not willing to make. So then I understand that I'm not going to get that money because I'm not willing to make those sacrifices. Then certain sacrifices I'm willing to make. When I started, I was using my Huawei to take photos. And I didn't see anything wrong with my pictures. Like, they were nice. And I was getting comments, oh, beautiful, hey, what. Then I changed my phone to an iPhone, but it wasn't really for content. Hubby has been asking me to change my phone forever, but for me, it did not make sense to have an iPhone just to take pictures. Like, it did not make sense. I'm that person. Everything needs to make sense. So finally, when I started with content creation, I was like, okay, maybe let me take it. And my issue was that thing of Huawei with Google, where I couldn't get certain apps and I was struggling to do certain things. So I was like, let me try the iPhone. How? I was so shocked. Some of the people who were following me were commenting that, oh, Mama, your pictures these days. And I'm like, how? People all along me were saying that my pictures are beautiful. Now you are saying the standard. And I think the reason why I was surprised is because I'm not that person. I'm not really a detailed person. I'm more a conversation person. I will not notice that your aesthetics are not aestheticsing. I know there's no that word. But I'm not that person, but I will notice the message that you are giving more than the pictures. So if you want to be serious about content creation, you will have to consider things like that, how your page is. But now my page is a mess. You can go to my Instagram, Joey Dlamini. It looks like me. I'm not perfect. I'm not organized and all those things. I just show up in myself, and thank God he always makes sure that he comes through for me as I am. Then the other thing, your page needs to be public. It can't be private, because when brands works with you, they want to be able to see whatever you're doing. Please register on the Humans app, because they also share campaigns there. Then you can opt in, and if you have met the requirements, then you will get that campaign. And sometimes some brands will see me on Humans app without me opting in, then they will send me a DM, then after they will send me the campaign. So it does work. I want to also talk about trade exchange. I know some people who say, no, that's working for free. It is not always working for free. Sometimes you need the exposure. Also, you need the practice so that more brands will know about you. So you need to choose, is this really worth it? Do I love this brand? Does it resonate with me? And will it help me maybe to get more work in the future? So don't always look down on trade exchanges. Look at, is it worth it? And one of my friends, she will say, no, the same brand can't keep on coming back to me and asking for a trade exchange. There needs to be a time where they are saying, we've been working together, so let us give you this. I think I want to close by talking more. So far, I have different amounts, like where I'll get paid 4,000, maybe it will be for 2 posts, or 1.8 for one post. So it is different amounts depending on what the brand wants me to do. And I was able to renovate my study, through the money from one of the brands. And even now, the painting, the renovation, it started with me getting a brand from, I was doing a campaign for builders, and then we were able to buy paints and whatever. So it does help. There is value in doing it. And sometimes I have multivitamins that I'm using, and I did not need to buy them, which is beneficial. One of the struggles as a mom creator is when you are working with kids. Personally, for me, my kids are not really part of my campaign. And I've made it clear from the beginning. If they are interested, I will include them. If they are not interested, I respect it and leave it. So, because sometimes they are not in the mood. I remember we did this Ackerman's campaign. At first, they were excited when we were buying the clothes and then when we had to take pictures. Because sometimes you'll be taking the same picture 100 times and they're like tired, they want to play. So I'm learning to say no to certain things and I'm learning to advocate for them. And now, like last time I was so excited, a brand sent me a message, a DM on Instagram saying that they would like me and my daughter to go to watch a movie. And I was so excited. They are just giving me vouchers. It's not money, but the fact that I don't have to spend money to go and buy those movies, those tickets, it's a win for me. So think about it. Yeah, weigh your options and don't always listen to the noise, because sometimes people are going to make you feel like you are settling for less, but you have to decide what is your less and just start. I don't know why, for some reason I've noticed that PR agencies and brands, they actually prefer Instagram more than other social media platforms. So if you don't have an Instagram account, please create it and start posting, start sharing, engaging, and building your community. I have a TikTok account. I know other people get brand deals there. I have no idea what I'm doing. So if you are a TikToker and you are getting brand deals there, please comment and share your experiences. While we are at it, Opohisho was sharing her journey on YouTube, and also she shared about her content creation journey on Instagram and some of the campaigns. So do check out her video because she's been here longer than me and she's been doing amazingly well. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any question about my content creation journey, how do I do it, or any question that you have, please feel free to ask. I am not a gatekeeper, and I truly believe that all of us can win together. Thank you so much. Bye.